I regret it. Abuse. And so I didn't care. And I said, you know what? Yeah, and I don't have to care. Addiction, but it is what it is. Bullying, summer vibes. My brain is mush. He was too much of a green flag? Oh, hello. Welcome to Romance and Rosé, where we exclusively read romance and hardly ever drink rosé. I'm coming to you from my bed. I'm a cozy girl today, mainly because I've been a little bit under the weather this entire 4th of July weekend. It's been a real drag, but I still wanted to try to get a video out to you guys this Monday because I love you guys. And I also really want to talk about the 13 books I read in the month of June, now that we're officially in July. Because I'm pretty low energy today, this is going to be a little bit quicker of a video. So if you want me to go more in depth on any of the books I'm going to talk about, definitely leave a comment. I would be happy to make another video doing more of a deep dive on some of these reads if you guys want me to. Anyway, diving in, I read the first 4 books in the Boys of Tommen series. Binding 13, Keeping 13, Redeeming 6, Saving 6. And when I tell you guys, these books were so good. They were so good. I was at a bookstore the other day, and this entire series was on its own display table. And this girl came along with her boyfriend and was like, oh, I've read this series. And he said, what was it about? And she proceeded to tell him, oh, it was just some high school sports romance series. And I was peeking over my shoulder, fighting off every instinct within me not to turn around and say, actually. Because after reading the first 4 books, literally the last thing on your mind after any of these books is sports. They're way more about teenagers dealing with issues of abuse, addiction, bullying, pregnancy, family, grief. Like, it's really just a huge trauma fest on these Irish teenagers. Very excited for the show that's coming out. All of the discourse about the casting really doesn't make sense to me because as soon as I saw them, I said, yeah, that's exactly who I pictured. You know? A bunch of Irish teenagers. I don't know what we're upset about, but I also maybe think I'm not that picky, so who knows. As a series so far, I would rate all 4 of these books a 4.5 star. Would absolutely recommend if you think you're strong enough. Then I read Every Summer After and One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I've talked about these books in other videos that I made in June, so if you want to hear my more in-depth opinions about them, definitely go check out those previous videos. All I will say in here, 5 stars for both. I love them. However, I will say Every Year After had the potential to be a 6-star god tier romance book. 70% of that book, I was like biting my nails going, oh my god, is this gonna be the one? Is this gonna be the best book I've read all year? And then when I found out the actual reason why she left Barry's Bay and had ghosted Sam for 10 years, and that he knew the reason why she ghosted him for 10 years and he still didn't reach out, I needed the reason to be more substantial, okay? And I needed them to be a little bit more grown up about it all. Because even if they were teenagers when it happened, I get that. I get maybe the first couple years letting your emotional immaturity maybe like blind you. You know, your frontal lobe, it's not fully developed yet. But then they kind of went past that and they still never thought, hey, I'm gonna revisit that, even though they were still in love with each other the whole time. I don't know. I wanted more. I wanted the reason to be a little bit more serious, but it is what it is. I liked the way it ended, and it was a perfect segue into Charlie Florrick's story in One Golden Summer. I find him so charming. I find him so incredibly likable and fun and flirty. His whole story with Alice was just so good. I absolutely recommend both of them. They have the perfect, nostalgic, swoony summer vibes. Like literally for the rest of my life, anytime someone asks for like a good summer vacation book, I'm going to recommend this duet. Then I read 7 Summers by Paige Toon. This was on my summer TBR list. And you know what? I'm gonna say I was a little disappointed in this one. Mainly because I think I had really high expectations because it was a love triangle, which is a personal favorite trope of mine. But then I didn't really like the way it ended, which was the main male character that we had invested most of our time with in the story didn't get the girl. She ended up picking the second dude. But then that second dude died after they were together for like only a handful of years, and then she ended up circling back to the first dude. And so it was like, oh, she got her happily ever after with the two loves of her. No, I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all. 2 stars for pissing me off. Then I did Spark by Gemma Ware. I have said this on many occasions. I will read anything she writes in the Montana Mountain Men universe, okay? This is the 7th book in the Mountain Protector series, and the only thing I will say is that I do think he is my least favorite in the Mountain Protector series, only because, and this is actually really funny, he was too much of a green flag. I know that sounds ridiculous, but part of the charm in the Montana Mountain Men and the Montana Mountain Protectors is that they're all kind of crazy alpha holes who have very red flag tendencies. And while it was still insta-love, love at first sight, and he still had very, like, possessive impulses, he spent too much of the book, like, really reining in that side of himself and trying to be, like, a healthy, non-toxic, communicative partner, which in any other scenario would be a great thing, but that's not why I read these books. I read these books for crazy. I read them for toxic. And I said, Gemma, what are you doing? He's too good. He's too understanding, and I just wanted to see him let out his crazy a little bit more, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, that's fine. That's fine. This is just my opinion. Then me and Mr. Rose buddy listened to Locked In by Caitlin Taylor. We really enjoyed it. Did we have a couple critiques here and there, if you will? For sure. Last week we filmed an entire video talking about it. So if you are curious about our fully formed thoughts and opinions, you can go watch that video. But all I'll say here is that at the end of the day, yeah, it was an enjoyable read that had us hooked from beginning to end. 4 stars. So my Barnes and Hopeful series that I do over on my Instagram and TikTok, a couple weeks ago, I got the letter H for book hunting. And one of the first books that I picked up but didn't end up buying was Happy Endings by Chloe Leese. And even though I didn't buy the physical copy, I was still really interested in the storyline and was able to grab myself a copy of it over on Libby. And you guys, it was so good. 5 stars. This was such a beautiful, I was gonna say summer romance, but I don't even think it really is a summer romance. Like, they go on a vacation during it, but the premise of this was so juicy because it starts with these 2 people who have just gone through a divorce. This girl is going to meet her husband at the house that he kept for a reason that I can't remember at this very moment because my brain is mush. But the other dude is meeting his wife to pick up their daughter to, like, kid swap. And they meet there, and she doesn't know that even though she's only been divorced a week, her husband is already seeing someone, sleeping with someone who also has a child. And so they're meeting, realizing this for the first time. And to save face, they make up this elaborate lie that they also know each other and were like each other's first love way back when. And then that lie sort of rolls into this friendship that spans the next handful of years, and they're actually really good together. Their connection is so undeniable that everyone around them sees it, and in their heads they're like, oh, see, everyone believes the lie. No, it's just that everyone can see your chemistry plain as day and knows how good you are together. She's so good with his daughter, and the communication, the emotional maturity that these characters have. It was just a really wonderful read. I loved every second of it. I felt like it was well written. It was well performed by the narrators because I did the audio, and I would highly, highly recommend. So you know how I said I didn't end up buying Happy Endings for the letter H when I was book hunting? I did end up buying Hide and Seek by Sheridan Ann. And when I tell you, oh my god, I regret it. I really didn't like this book. I really didn't like it at all, and I was so excited, you guys. The premise of this sounded so fucking juicy. This girl who is a forensic pathologist works in a morgue. There's a serial killer on the loose who keeps leaving hidden messages on the victims' bodies who keep coming into her morgue. She's so freaked out, it ends up chasing her into the arms of her step uncle. Hello? So juicy, so taboo, forbidden. Give me more. He's a SWAT team leader. He's like, I'll protect you, baby girl. No. Premise sounds good, except for, unfortunately, the writing was really bad. I feel bad saying this. And what's even worse, too, is whenever I make negative reviews about books, I try to do my due diligence to make sure that it's not going to be shoved into the face of the author. I don't tag them. I actually do my best to not even say the author's name if I can get away with it. And I'll even, like, put notes in the caption, kind of like reminding people who see the video to like be respectful. But sometimes the internet is the internet and the algorithm's gonna do what it's gonna do, and the author did come across the negative review I made about it on TikTok and Instagram, you guys, and she commented on it. My worst nightmare. I'm so sorry. And at the end of the day, like, what am I gonna say? I'm sorry I didn't like your book. Like, I'm sorry this video wasn't for you. And if you watch the video, I'm really not trying to just like be a hater or shit on it. I felt like I tried to give very like constructive and critical reasons for why I didn't like this book. Because again, I feel like I'm a very easily pleased reader. But I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. And she saw it, and it is what it is. I just have to live with that. It happens. But yeah. Wouldn't recommend. But then I listened to the audio for The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. Oh my god. It was so good. I loved absolutely everything about this book. It was just like a perfectly told tale of like right person, wrong time. Girl meets two guys at a party. Kind of ends up getting a ride home from the wrong one, which kicks off a full-blown romantic relationship with the wrong dude. But these dudes are best friends. And the dude that she's dating is so wrong for her in so many ways. And all of the things that he does right in her eyes are things that his best friend, the one that she should be with, sort of like helps him out with. Every single character was like so raw and vulnerable and real. I loved Abby Jimenez's voice through the entire story. The pining and the pacing of it was just incredibly done. I have absolutely no notes. I would highly recommend this one. And then I started but DNF'd We Met Like This by Casey West. And I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not that it was bad, it's just that I think I was on such a high from the Abby Jimenez book, and it was so good that I got like 40% into this book and just realized I didn't care. It felt trivial. It felt, again, not bad or poorly written. It just wasn't as good. And so I didn't care. And I said, you know what? Yeah, and I don't have to care. I can just stop. So I did. Anyway, those are all the books I read. If I had been in a better state of body and mind, I absolutely would have given you more detail. I would have yapped a little bit more about all these stories. But honestly, after the weekend I've had, you know what? Count your blessings that a video came out today at all. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Even from my sick bed. I'm like a sick Victorian child with consumption. I shall see you next week when I am hopefully well. Thank you so much. Happy reading. Mwah.